This is so random, but most things I do are random AF. But ever since they announced that they closed down CERN, have anybody else noticed the differences just like within the atmosphere? So the other day, I made a video and I posted about the red ants. Like, that was the day I realized like something has changed. Like, even the sun is different. This is like feeling like the same sun. I'm not gonna say it's the same sun from the 90s, but it's like very, very close to like the sun that we had growing up. Like, you know, the ones we used to draw on the paper, it was orange and yellow, like not white and pink and orange and green. I mean, not or orange, but you know, like all these other different colors. So I'm like, what has changed? And then like the red ants was my first like something in the world is different. Like I freaked out low key because it was just so many of them. Like so many, and they're just everywhere, all these fire ants. And then so I'm just like, what happened? And then I just started seeing like just different things. Like I cut my grass 2 days, like maybe like a week ago, and like not even 2 days later, without rain, it's already back up. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to cut this grass every freaking day. It feels like every other day. But I'm like, something's different. It's like life is here. I don't know how to explain it. Like even when I go take the dogs out on a walk, I made a joke like the one time like we were around some, I don't remember, but we were somewhere and it was I was gonna go hug and kiss a tree, and there was a lot of tree roaches, and I'm like, you know, you hear tree roaches but I've never really seen them. But I'm like, but to see them and then like in that magnitude, I'm like, and I'm just like, something has changed. And then like it didn't dawn on me, like, you know, they closed CERN. And then so I'm like, now it's just like I feel like this is just my theory. They went looking for something and they was met with something that they couldn't face. So maybe like, yeah, let's close the portals to like the other dimensions. But as you know, CERN's been doing them for some years now, and they was low key, and then people started picking up traction like around like 2012 about CERN, and then, you know, just going from there. But they really been doing them for a minute. But I've noticed like so much, like I'm just so much more happy, silly, and just like I just happy. It's the best way I can explain it. Has anybody else, and like even my sleep pattern is different. I know like for me personally, I'm going through like some type of elevation, and so every time I elevate or go through like ascension, I have like all these different symptoms from. So I understand what my problem is as far as my sleeping. I haven't slept in like 2 days. Like I lay here and I'll just close my eyes and then I'll just look up and I'm like, okay, and just get up. And then it kind of reminds me like when you're in the spiritual realm, it's not that time doesn't exist. It's just not monitored and tracked how it is on Earth. Time exists everywhere. Like it's time, right? But here on Earth, time got law and order and structure, you know, on a clock to monitor time. But in the spiritual, it doesn't matter. And so like when I'm awake and I'm in the spiritual realm, like awake like now, and I can say, let me go to the spiritual realm. I just go, and just picture where I want to go or who I want to see, what I want to do. And then I go. I leave out my body, even though I'm physically still here. I leave. Dip out, I'll be gone. And then like when I'm there, it only feels like just like a moment, right? But then when I come back 2 hours then passed, and I'm like, I've been really sitting here in one spot, haven't moved for hours, and then here I'm just like la 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 la, let me get back and da 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 da, and then I'll come back and I'm like, so it's not that time doesn't exist, it just works differently there in the spiritual. It just, I'll find better words to explain this. I'm just got so much on my mind. But has anybody else noticed these changes or have seen like the differences? And then and I'm just gonna say it because I think I said it before, I'm not sure. I knew I wrote it down in one of my notebooks when it happened last year. So last year it was July the 28th, and my ancestors, they were like, I'm a clair, like it's what they call it, like clairvoyance, clairaudience, clair. I'm a clair. I got all the clairs, right? Claire Hustable. But no. So like my ancestors, like they'll come to me some days. Like I was telling somebody yesterday in a comment, I'm like, how my ancestors, like the way, like whatever song that comes to me in the morning, it plays audibly in my head. There's nothing on the TV, nothing on my phone, and it just be boom, 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 and I'll be like, okay, and it depends. So like, I'll give you an example. So if my ancestors come to me, and like I wake up and I'm hearing, I ain't never scared, I ain't never scared. I know they finna go fuck somebody up. I just know it. And so what I do is mercy for the other person, like mercy, because they ain't never scared. And then I'm outside, and sometimes it be songs I've never heard before in my whole entire life, and I'll be trying to remember the lyrics and like, so I can go search the song and listen to it. It just depends. I know what kind of day I'm gonna have based on the music that they bring me when I acknowledge the day. But anyways, July 28th of last year, my ancestors, boom, they ain't here, and they just like thanking me and just saying like, I did it again, you did it again, boom, 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 boom. And then they was just like something I said, which I still don't know, and all this other stuff. Like they have like this imaginary faith in me, which I thank them. They see stuff in me I don't see yet. When they like thanking me, they was like, you just do so much, you don't even know the stuff that you do. And then especially like in spirit, and like that's what they had, like kind of honed me in to just let me know. Hang on, Judge Mathis. I can't even. I'm trying to watch this show. I'm gonna have to rewatch this episode. I'm gonna pause this though. All right. So anyway, so they be like, just telling me like different stuff, and like especially like when you're going to spiritual, you're a monster, you a beast, and I'll be like, me? Are you talking about me? But then like, as ancient and as old, and I ain't gonna say old, sorry guys, but as ancient as they are, and it's like no matter how I age, they still treat and consider me like a little precious baby, like a little baby. And that's how they just like, I love them. And it's like reminds me of that Fly song. He's like, going to the street, but to the source I'm still a baby. Like, but anyways, back to July 28th. So July 28th of last year, I wrote it down in my notebook. So I'm gonna start setting a calendar. It's like, July 7th, wear blue. See my Facebook memories like yesterday. The last 3 July 7ths I've had on blue, and not even intentionally. So I'm like, let me write this down on my calendar. Let me start wearing blue, or look into this more for July 7th and the color blue. But anyways, July 28th, July 28th, July 28th. Boom. My great grandma, she came to me. Boom. She's like telling me like, thank you. And she's like, she told me to go outside. It was like either like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. TBH, I really didn't want to go outside. Like, I was cool. I was laying in bed. I was just chilling. I was comfortable. And she's like, go outside. And so I'm just like, okay. And then, like, when my great grandma come to me, I know, like, her energy signature, like, even if she don't say a word, my knees get, like, ice cold, like, below zero. It gets so cold, and it just starts in my knees and just go whoosh, and my whole body, and I just start shivering, like, whoo! Ooh, I'm cold. Then like it took me a while to catch on, like, okay, that's my grandma before she started. They like to play games with me at first. But anyways, but when I went outside, like I started having like a panic or an anxiety attack. I can't really explain it because I've never like freaked out. And it was just like everything, it looked the same, but it's like the ground was raised up higher and that the trees were down lower, because I was at my brother's house at that time, so I can like lift my arm up and touch the tree, and I'm like, that ain't never, I come and walk in this backyard for hours, and I can never reach that tree, was never in arm's reach, and all of the branches are now in arm's reach, and I'm like freaking out, because it's like, my nose It's like I couldn't take in air up my nostrils, and it wasn't clogged. It was just like a different atmosphere. It's like, like the 3 layers of the atmosphere. Like, it was just something completely different. I really wish I could find the words to explain that part. But anyways, I started freaking out because I'm like, I can't breathe. I'm like, that's it. And I'm like running to the tree. I'm like, oh my God, everything is different. And I'm just like, is the world like, closing up? Like, because that's what it feels like. Down was up was coming down. And then like I had to calm myself down because like it was like around that time, it was like a planetary alignment or some type of alignment in the sky to where everything did that. Everything lined up like this. And I made a video, and I was like, oh, the divine feminine is coming down so that the divine masculine can raise up. They're meeting each other in the middle, and we see it in the spiritual first before we see it here on the earth. But anyway, so my great grandma told me, like, after I stopped freaking out, that I was only scared and like freaking out because it was a new experience to me, and like something new and like unknown. Like, I was just like, I didn't know what to do. All I knew was that I could not breathe. But when I calmed myself down, calm my breathing, I just kept telling myself, like, Jackie, you're safe and you're okay. I'm protected above all else. And like, la, 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 la. So I'm like, after I like talked myself down off this crazy ledge, I started looking around again, and like truly everything was different. Like, I wasn't imagining the ground being raised or like nothing. It was really different. And so like even with me walking on the ground, it felt weird. And so like I took the first step, and it's like I got like a flash, like a glimpse into the spiritual. I wish I can explain it more, what it looked like. But it's like each step I took, it's like, shoo, flash, 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 or like memory. And then after a while, like I took like 3 steps, and I kid you not. And that's when I realized, I said, the earth frequency is raising. I was like, oh my goodness, like enough like people in a collective energy, like we did it, like we worked together enough, like aligned enough to raise the earth frequency enough to where it needs to be, so that like then I just started getting happy, and I was like, is this the new world? And then I kid you not, that song from Aladdin started playing, like don't you dare, like that started playing, and then I started just crying. I couldn't even hold the tears back, and whereas like I was scared to take a step, I started running around in the dark, and I'm just screaming. I didn't care what my neighbors thought. I was just so happy, just thanking Most High Mother and Father, thanking the ancestors, thanking all of the divines. I'm just thanking everybody, the trees, the birds, the grass, like the dirt. I was just thanking everything, and I'm just running around in the backyard like, this is the new world. The new world is here. Like, this is the new world. But like, I'm like, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm like, ain't nobody gonna believe me. Like, I already think I'm crazy. So I just wrote it down in my notebook, and I'm like, this is the new world. In July 28th. So that day is coming up again, and I'm just like so happy, because like that's when I met Most High Father, and he was just like, can't really explain it. Like, I was standing physically in my backyard, but he took me into this place where it looked like a ballroom. Everybody was dressed all pretty and fancy and, just nice. It was glass floors. It was just really, really nice. And he was like, asked me to dance. And I'm like, like a father and like a daughter. And I'm like, I never had that. So I'm crying. And I'm like, I might look crazy, but I don't care. Because it's like Horton Hears a Who. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it don't exist. You just don't see it. And I'm sorry that you don't. But I'm like not gonna downplay myself or my experiences or being celebrated or to celebrate because other people aren't there yet. I'll just turn up by myself. And like, oh my gosh, just thinking like this is gonna be a year, 1 year anniversary of the new world. And then it just brings me back to this whole CERN thing. There is a cause for the CERN, a cause for concern for the CERN. And I'm look more into that, see what they got going on. And it's like the things that I know, and it's like right after I speak it on the video, I'll see, like, I'll go like to Facebook or YouTube, and then somebody else will be like, hey, I seen on a telescope, or I seen this, or I seen that. I don't got no telescope. Like, I want one, which I should invest in one day. But I'm like, the things that I see, like when I saw the rainbow was a full complete circle, not just an arch. We're only seeing the arch. But I know that there's another planet that's going to come into this orbit. I've already seen it. It's the 15th planet that's going to come into this orbit. And I think, I ain't going to go too much in that. But I only mention that because after I got these downloads, had these visions, it's this guy, his name is Mr. MRBB333. He's on Facebook and YouTube. He does like weather and, you know, just different stuff. And so he was the one of the ones that had the confirmation for me that I can trust my spiritual team to like no avail, because no, like, it's because I ain't go to school for it, and I'm like not knocking nobody that did go to school for this type of stuff. You know, more power to you, but it gave me so much more confidence because the things that I see, I don't even know this man, didn't even follow him, subscribe to his channel, nothing. I was just watching from the sidelines, like, okay. And then he started just confirming stuff. Boop, follow. Boop, subscribe. Boop, 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 boop. Because you're tapped in too. Like, you're doing the science of it, but I'm following the spiritual, and we're still here seeing the same exact thing. But just know, again, mark your calendars. July 28th is the anniversary, the 1-year anniversary of the New World.